Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Sara Lubratt and I finished my fast-paced fantasy novella that I call Project Veil last night, at least as of recording this video. And what I actually want to write next has changed since I put out my fall writing goals video where I said that I wanted to take a break from writing on my massive project that took me 9 years to finish that I call Project DE, which is a high fantasy told from 3 points of view, dealing with good versus evil, dragons, there's a magic system. I loved that story so freaking much, but I spent 9 years working on it from the original idea to the end of draft 7. And so to reward myself, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a step back. I'm gonna work on something quicker just to show myself that I can finish something. I can finish something quickly when it's a smaller scoped project. And so then I set out to write 2 what I was calling palette cleanser projects during the last 3 months of 2024. So October, November, December. Like I said, last night I finished Project Veil, which was the fantasy palette cleanser project. And I've started my sci-fi romance palette cleanser project. I went on a writing retreat. I had so much fun on that writing retreat. And because I wanted to start something new while I was there, I spent that time starting or attempting to start my sci-fi romance project. And I really enjoyed working on it, but I don't know if it's what I want to work on right now. I was talking to somebody whose opinion I really value about how I've kind of felt like adrift recently and about how I haven't felt very grounded in the last couple months. And their response was basically that for the duration of me feeling not grounded is the amount of time that I have not been working on Project DE. But I finished book 1 of Project DE over the summer. So it's not like I can go back to that book, but Project DE is the first in a trilogy. And I told myself that I wanted to write my palette cleanser projects, Project Veil and my sci-fi romance project before I started on books 2 and 3 of Project DE. But after having that conversation with this person, they encouraged me to start book 2 of Project DE because they thought that I might be able to use that as a little bit of an anchor to ground myself again so that I don't feel as adrift, so that I can, kind of figure out what I'm doing and like find a lot of strength from that. And I thought about it, I talked to my therapist about it, and then last night I finished Project Veil. And I don't want to work on my other palette cleanser project. I want to start book 2 of Project DE, which I'm really excited about. The whole point of having my palette cleanser projects, again, Project Veil and my sci-fi romance novellas, was for me to take a step back from the DE world and reward myself with something shorter, just because Project DE took so much time and energy and effort that I wanted to accomplish something smaller and faster to basically encourage myself, give myself a little bit more confidence in writing these bigger book projects. But now that I have completed Project Veil, I think the rough draft ended up being about 19,000 words. I really want to go back to the dragons and the magic and the friendships and relationships in Project DE. I think it was a couple days ago, so also a couple days before finishing Project Veil, I went to the gym and I started listening to one of my writing playlists, and I ended up listening to one of the songs on repeat, and I just brainstormed for like 45 minutes when I was on the treadmill. And I have been excited about going back and starting books 2 and 3 of Project DE, but that was like the official, oh my gosh, like I'm getting so close to this again. I'm so excited to start on book 2. And that's the energy that pushed me to finish Project Veil, because I told myself that I wasn't going to start book 2 until I could finish Project Veil. Because the whole point of my palette cleanser projects was to start and finish something quickly and then move on to either my next palette cleanser project if I wasn't ready to start book 2 of Project DE or book 2 of Project DE. And I'm stoked, honestly. I've had ideas percolating in my head for books 2 and 3 of this trilogy for a couple of years now. When I started writing Project DE, you guys have heard me talk about this a lot, but when I originally started writing the book, I was expecting the story to turn out to be 400 to 500 pages of one book. And then that turned into being like 200,000 words into like a third of the story. And I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a trilogy because I can't fit this in one book. And the rough draft of the first book took me like 4 years to write. I was in school, I was working jobs. Like I didn't have the time to completely focus on writing this story. So I would go in and out of it. I would work on it for like a couple weeks and then I would take a couple months off of it. I would get writer's block with it and then I would switch to a different story. I was kind of all over the place with the rough draft, which is why then 7, I had to take 7 drafts to finish it because draft 2 was developmental edits, draft 3 was trying to figure out line editing and everything like that. And then after draft 3, I sent it to beta readers. The beta reader feedback I got was very helpful, but I didn't know how to apply the feedback that I got in drafts 4 and 5. So both drafts 4 and 5, I stopped about halfway through. So both drafts 4 and 5, I only worked on the first half of the book. And then in draft 6, I focused on the last half of the book because I finally figured out what I could actually do to make that stronger. And then draft 7 was going through and trying to cut out like 18,000 words or something like that. I made a video where I go a little bit deeper into what I changed in each draft if you want to check that out here. So I hope that I will never again have to do 7 drafts, but I finished draft 7 this summer. And then that's why I started my other fun side projects, is because I had those ideas for a while, but I didn't want to pull my focus away from DE because it's a blessing and a curse that I am very stubborn and I really wanted to finish Project DE before I started something else, especially because the rough draft was done and I just needed to edit it in theory. I was anticipating like 2 edits and not like 5 or 6. And now that I've taken that time and, you know, done my little celebratory victory lap of writing something short and sweet, much faster in like 3 or 4 months instead of 9 years, I feel like I'm ready to start book 2 of DE. The brainstorming that I've done for it so far has made me so freaking excited. I honestly wanted to start book 2 as soon as I finished book 1, like draft 7 of book 1. But that's where I made myself be like, no, I'm gonna take a step back, I'm gonna work on something else, and then I'll like come back to it. And now I'm ready to go back to it. And I'm really excited. So that's what I actually want to write next. That's what I actually will be writing next. My sci-fi romance project will be sitting on the shelf again for a little bit until I need a break from drafting book 2 of Project DE. That's the first time I've said that out loud. That's crazy. I am so excited. Like tonight I have writing group and I'm gonna start brainstorming and, you know, trying to put together a little bit of an outline. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'm excited to start book 2 of Project DE. Let me know down below what you are writing right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Sara Lubratt. I'm so excited to write book 2 of Project DE or DE2. I need to figure out how I'm gonna say that so that it's not a tongue twister every single time. But thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.